Hi, this is Jason with the brackets show off example project using my extension brackets-sass to compile a project that uses a library like Bourbon. If you're not familiar with Bourbon, you can check out their webpage at bourbon.io. Like I said, it's a mixin library that lets you simplify your writing rules in Sass. I've got my example project here on my GitHub account called Bourbon Example. And then setup is pretty easy if you want to set something up like this yourself. So when you start a new project, you're going to need Node installed and also Bower. And then if you're, in this case, when I'm using Bourbon, I'm using Bourbon version 3.2.3. And this is because libsass, the compiler behind the scenes in my extension, has limited support for the newer Sass 3.3 syntax and some other issues. So libraries like Bourbon often will include instructions if you're compiling specifically using libsass. So after using Bourbon to install this version, you would update the brackets.json files to define some settings to point to the include path for Bourbon, and then go ahead and write your SCSS. So on that note, let's jump right in. I've got brackets over here on the left, and I have live preview open on the right. Before I get started, I just want to show you how this is set up again. So I've got a brackets.json file set up at the root of my project. That's important because the extension will only pick up settings that are at the root. And I've got my SCSS file that I'm compiling here, and I'm setting it up with some options, specifically the include path of where to find Bourbon and the output path of where I want the CSS and the source map to go. So with that said, let's try testing out some live preview with that. So just as a sanity check, this is just a simple update here. I'm not using editing Sass but HTML, so I can see that I'm updating live as you would expect brackets to do normally. I can go into my Sass file and start changing things, and you'll see that the changes here get compiled live and get pushed out as CSS to live preview. So I can change this font family, for example, to monospace, and then on the right you can see I've got a fixed width font now. I can undo that and go back. I can change this color parameter to the button mixin to something else, so I can go from red to blue, and you can see I've got a new button there. I can also change this parameter from shiny to pill, and now I've got this cool rounded button. It's really nice and really easy. And I didn't have to save or set up a grunt watch task or go to the command line and compile my Sass on the fly. It's all happening within brackets, and I didn't need any extra tools to do that. So one other thing I can show, I can actually go into the Bourbon library itself and start making changes here. And because it's found in the include path, and because my extension can read the source maps that are output by libsass, I can tell that when I update this Sass file, I need to update the overall file that I'm compiling, the app.css file. So for example, I can take a look at the till mixin that I know is used in the button mixin and change the border to a giant border, let's say 10, and then you can see that update here on the right. So that's a quick tour of doing live preview using Sass and the mixin library like Bourbon, using my extension brackets-sass available in the extension registry today. Thanks for watching.